Yeah, we got you, Solomon. GM, everyone. Wednesday morning here, 9 o'clock my time. We are in the second to last day, Nouns, Prop 116. We got a fun show tonight. We got Solomon, who needs a job. Solomon needs a job.eth. We got SQ, OG Little Nouner. And we've got, of course, Index Card. We're going to get started on this stream right after this, guys. GM, as promised. Index Card, GM, how are you?
GM, how are you?
Doing good. And we got SQ. SQ's a veteran of this show. SQ, you've been on, what, 10 times?
Yeah, I don't know. It was an original prop house round that kind of kicked this off, and I think it started hosted in my basement. I don't think that lasted very long. We were trying to do the always on Twitch streaming. Then I got us banned from Twitch for streaming which was a free stream of the World Cup games. So yeah, it's been a ride. I love where you've taken it.
Awesome. It's great to have you here. And Solomon needs a job.eth. GM, this is our first time talking. How are you, buddy?
Mic check. Do you hear me?
Yes, can hear you now.
Okay. Actually, I was using my dynamic mics before. There's some issue. Hopefully, it should not happen again. I don't use StreamYard, by the way. I use another software. StreamYard is much better. But I am doing fine. Thank you. Great to be here. Fan of the show. Love the intro. And thank you. Great to be part of the show.
Awesome. It's great to have you here. Solomon, you killed it during Hack Week. How many props did you get in? Let's start off there because you've been propping up a storm.
Two. I got in two of them. So one is for the arts and media round, and another is on the noun square. Yeah. So you can search for movie. Yeah.
Wow, you got to vote from Noun 12.
I did.
That's legit, man.
I can't believe it. I'm like, when I saw that, I was so moved. Wow.
Tell me about it. When you saw it yesterday, where were you?
This morning.
What happened? Yeah.
This morning, I just saw it. Like I submitted. I have quite a story with this. Can I get into that? A small story about like submission.
Absolutely.
So I started working on the movie itself, the edit of the movie, the day before the delivery. So literally 24 hours before the vote was when I started working on it. And as I started working on it, it seemed like the edit went really good, really well, and I finished it like much sooner than I expected. So which is why I took it easy. I was on Twitter a lot and I was doing other things and everything. And in the night, so it's 9:30 a.m. for me. The prop deadline is 9:30 a.m. for me. So in the night, I got back to work and I was like just on it like till the morning. I was working and I got a little headache at around 5 a.m. and I fell asleep and accidentally woke up. Fortunately, hearing my alarm at 8 a.m., which is 1.5 hours before the deadline. So what happened is that at that time I was at a friend's place and over there was the electricity went out, the power went out, and my laptop had only 24% charge. And I was like, man, this can't be happening. There's no way I can export the video right now, and I can't even I had changes to make. So the previous night, while I was wasting time, fortunately, I also worked on a website, the biggest little movie .wtf. So what I did, because I had very little charge, I just dropped in the submission as a very basic prop, 1 or 2 sentences with a website, and I thought I'll add the placeholder. So I'd add a video placeholder that I can submit after the deadline. And that's exactly what I did. And I was like, okay, fine, it has gone well. And that it took my time. I took a couple of hours, 3 hours to fix the video, and I exported it and I published it, only to realize that I did not submit to the grand prize. I was like so heartbroken. That is the goal, right? Like to also submit to the grand prize because you're automatically eligible. And I was like absolutely shattered. But then now I see that it's not a. I would not have won anyway. So now I feel better. And this morning, this morning I saw that Nouns12.eth has voted for me, voted for the prop, and I feel really, really good, like really honored that somebody in the Nouns community finds it worthwhile their vote. Thank you. Yeah, that's my
amazing. Love your void little noun there with the red glasses. You know, I had SQ on specifically because SQ was talking you up. SQ, what do you know? What do you like about Salman's work?
Everything really is what it comes down to. I mean, I don't even remember. It's. I feel like you popped in like a week ago. I feel like it was like right before Hack Week, randomly, because you had a different thing, and I was just like, which I don't think I apologize. I don't think I ever voted for it. Which after talking with you, because I think it was like one of you dropped the random link for a different
headline.
Headline DAO, and then that's where I sent you to Headline DAO because I was like, oh. Recently I've just been afraid of emails and clicking any link. So I was like, I don't think I can click this link. I'm like, but check out Headline DAO. They're giving out money.
No, that was DAO drops.
It was totally me being afraid. But sent you to Headline DAO, and then just and I think I followed you on Twitter from the Little Prop House account, and watched a couple of your videos and just liked your energy, liked where you were going, the hustle, but it just again, the energy, the output, the YouTube, and the one thing I really liked, to be honest, was one of the videos. I've only watched like 3, maybe 4 of them. You had these guys. It was one of the hackathons, and you were talking about popes. You had me at poeps as well. And these guys, like, it seemed like you had kind of found them. I mean, well, you definitely found them at the hackathon, and they were in the hackathon, and they had agreed to talk to you. But it seemed like when it started, they were very kind of apprehensive, just in general, probably, because it sounded like you hadn't known them, you just met them. They agreed to sit down for an interview. They didn't really know what they were getting involved in, and very rapidly. Into the interview, you had disarmed them, and like it became very friendly and very cordial. And I really liked how you navigate. And that was when I was reaching out, and I was like, your arm looks like it's getting tired with the way that you have your mic boom. I'm like, it's making my arm tired looking at you hold it. So I just really liked the energy that he was putting out, and seemed perfect as far as what the Nouns are looking for. Too fun, to be honest with you. And then we even had a quick interactions about like what would make it more noun, like what made more sense. And I only suggested, I think getting a pair of Noggles. I'm like, that's enough, and then here you have with your t-shirt, and asked me about the POAP with the Noggles. I mean, it's not only that, the feedback was immediate. It was nearly perfect. And again, like as you were going in the video that you put through, it's like, as I imagine hack weeks are, right? Like it wasn't a project that you had like previously done, that now you're just resubmitting for the hack week. It seems to have been filmed. I know you did a thing with Robot Fish Girl. And again, I think it really embodied, I think you embody Nouns. And I think this hack week video, which is also kind of an explainer of nouns, kind of, you show how to not mint a little noun, but it's also little nouns focused, which I love. But you go through little tutorials, kind of with your cameraman, and going to the playground and all that. And not only that, like it's showing right here, the behind the scenes of what you're doing, which I get, I've done kind of some of this stuff, not really. So, and I barely, it's interesting. Everything about you is interesting, about it is interesting. And I'm a big fan.
Oh my God, I'm so honored. And this is so satisfying to hear, to be honest. Because after putting in all this work, regardless of the vote, just to know that it's appreciated is really, it means a lot to me. And even our interactions began very recently. And I also like very much appreciate that you actually guided me. When I was asking about the POAPs, you guided me to go to the Noun Square where I met RFG. So it is all connected. And a lot of this, actually, you'll find this is just the part one. This is a long one. This is the biggest little movie. So there's going to be a lot more. Yes.
Amazing. Yeah, so much work to put together a video with so much editing like this. This is 8 minutes. Could you give us, Salman, like what's the beginning, middle, and end in a couple of sentences of the video?
The video is about two things. One, the part one specifically, is about what this video is about, like the mystery of what this movie is going to be about, this whole series.
Oh,
One.
I love that. I gotta say, man, I love that. I love that meta stuff.
Yeah. So second, it's about this POAP. What is the purpose of this POAP? So that is what is central to this video. And the name of the episode, part one, is called CC0, because that is like contents of what is discussed in this episode. But yeah, that is what it's about. And it incorporates, like you see on the video, like visuals from different parts of this day and this experience. There's going to be like more in the next parts as well, but like from the event that I attended, from my call with RFG, and this screen shares that you see of behind the scenes of putting together this video.
Amazing. What could you give us a couple sentences on what CC0 means to you as a creator?
To me, I think I value CC0 a lot because I benefit from everything that is available in the public domain, everything that is available on the internet. I've always, forever, been grateful to like the access that I have through the internet, and I think I have been into NFTs for many reasons. Only recently got into nouns, but CC0 I think is what is the most important element to this. The very fact that it is a CC0 movement. So if you are going to be putting in any effort to proliferate nouns, you're gonna proliferate the CC0 movement, which is gonna help mankind. And just yesterday night I tweeted that. Moving forward, like none of my videos are going to have my logo, just to like enable CC0. If somebody wants to do something with my content, they can, because it will not have my logo from now on. And I just wish to contribute more to the CC0 movement. And I think nouns, I've been following nouns for a long time, never involved, minted the lil noun a month back or something, but I have had a .noun domain for many months, about 8 months or so, like since the moment it came out, for another project of mine called Who Needs a Job .noun. But yeah, I've just been following the ecosystem. Now I'm glad that I'm getting involved.
Love it. Love it. Love a fellow CC0 Maxi. Yeah, I love your work.
CC0 Maxi. So now I'm gonna put that on my bio now. So it perfectly describes it.
Yeah. Index card, are you around? Have you seen the Biggest Little Movie? I gotta say, this title screen looks a bit like Seinfeld-y.
Yeah. I think if you've been paying attention during Hack Week, you couldn't help but come across Salman. I just felt like I could see him all over this week, hustling and grinding and just like putting in some serious work and hours. And I feel like I got to thank SQ here for kind of reminding me of that and bringing my attention back to Salman and his prop and his work. Because, there's like so much going on during Hack Week, you can kind of forget or just lose track of things. And so me personally, I just gave him a thumbs up in the Little Nouns Discord for one of his props. And obviously kind of doing similar work that Pan and I are doing. And so, you know, you got to support other media creators, streaming participants, etc. So yeah, it's really cool work.
Thank you, Index Card. And I'm a fan of this show. So we can talk about that when we get into the prop. But big fan, yeah. And yeah, during this hack week, just to add to what you said, yeah, I was like everywhere. Like even this video, I'm sure that I would love to use it in one of the parts of the movies. I was also on the Nouns Square Twitter Spaces a lot, and on Discord, obviously. So I was just trying to make this more collaborative. For example, I'll give you like a fun fact. I don't know if you know this. You would have seen at the very last. The name of this movie was coined by Optoshi live on the Nouns Square Twitter Spaces. So I did a poll whether the name should be Lil Movie or A Lil Movie, and in a quick 2 minutes brainstorm session, it led to the biggest Lil movie. So yeah,
amazing.
Can I jump in on that, because I was thinking about that and I wasn't sure if I was going to mention anything. But since you brought it up, I saw a tweet that you put out, or a response to a tweet. Like this how into hold on a second.
Salman, would you mind retweeting this on Twitter? I sent you a DM about it. Let's get this out to your audience.
No, sorry, my wife jumped in there. And I was digging into a reply that you had, and it was how you like to work alone, but you don't really work. And the CC0 embracing, and the collaborative, like you really, and it goes back to the embodiment of nouns. Like nouns, to me, the decentralized nature of it is you really only gain the full potential breadth is when you access the networks that it provides, and you do that really well, and you show that with, like I said, the feedback and the quick adjustment and the focus and the Noun Square and bringing Robot Fish Girl on, and even then, citing the title, and I just think it's great. I think I don't think you work alone. I saw that you feel like you're alone, but I don't think you are alone. I think you need to see it more as you're working with all these people, kind of. But again, just want to say I think you work collaboratively really well.
Appreciate that. I think, I think I consider myself.
What would you say? Sorry, what would you say about Salman's work ethic there? Did you hear that? Working through a power outage, staying up all night, very nounish.
Yeah, no, I heard that. It's similar to, as you said, it was like a Seinfeld episode. Yeah, getting it done, and then missing the grand prize though, also very nounish. But yeah, no, amazing. Good luck.
I think also back on the working alone. Sorry if I can kind of get where you're coming from, because I feel that way usually most of my life. I just kind of do my own thing. And this might be a little bit cheesy, but it's almost impossible to work alone in nouns just by default. Like just by being involved in nouns, you're building off of the work the Nounders did, the early community did, other members. So yeah, in a weird way, it's almost impossible, but I get where you're coming from.
So what am I audible, Lil Panda? Am I audible?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
So I consider myself as an individual contributor. So for example, when I was in my past jobs, when I was working, when I became, for example, a manager, I wasn't, very confident in the way I was managing, people in my team. So that is not something I enjoyed. So in that spirit is what I mentioned. But I think I like what you said, Index. I think by very nature of working at it is a good observation. Maybe I'm not. I am collaborative. Also, there is a certain way to work in public, which is very fun, which I have been trying to do, which allows for more collaboration. So yeah, I think CC0. Just to come back to that once again, Web3 enables for CC0. Just because a lot of the things that we experience in Web3 is open source, which is fantastic. So you can literally take like the chat functionality of Lens and put it into your own app, and take something other functionality of another protocol and put it into your own app. It's like it's just amazing how all of this works. And I think I think it's like really enjoyable to work with this kind of within this framework of uh, being available for as CC0.
Hey, Salman, what number is your void little noun? Do you know?
Oh, 7. I'm going to send it to you. I wish I had that on top of my mind. I'm going to look it up. 7413, I believe.
Okay.
But this Figma, oh my god, your skill on this stream is next level. I really enjoy watching you navigate the Figma.
Yeah, we love it too. What specifically? Can you? What do you like watching?
Just a second, I'm just finding this. It's 7415. 7415. Okay, so about what I like watching is that I love how you have, like, on many of the streams, your discussion is on this canvas. Like it's some part of this canvas, and you get to that so. It looks like you get to that so easily. Like if it was like inside a browser or something, I would do like a Command F and find that. No, you actually zoom into that, and it's like that's why when you called it a game and this prop that you have, I think it's like very well deserved, because this is not an ordinary stream. Actually, this is extremely detailed and really well done. So I think the way you navigate Figma is a core part of it, and very cool.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. And it's kind of the game. It's like you're building up. Like you're the POAP of this round for Panda and Index, right? And they put you next to the other collectors that they've gone when they've, beat the round, I guess, or whatever, got the special card. It is totally a game, and I love it. I love it. I can't wait for you guys to get. I know Index. I know you already got your big, but I can't wait to celebrate it when Panda gets his big Panda. I know it'll happen one day.
Amazing.
It will, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a big Panda, to be honest. We're going to have to do some thinking on that.
What?
The little Panda is so darn cute, and to me, that's the Panda. I honestly just like the little Panda so much better.
So when you say big Panda, are you referring to the noun?
Yeah. I mean, I think eventually I'm going to get a noun, but I don't know which one it'll be. There's such less supply, might not have as much of a choice. But anyway, we're going to get you on our guest list here. Did you mint this little noun, or did you buy it on secondary, Solomon? How did you get this void? Tell me about this void.
I minted this. I have wanted a little noun for ages. And I think I found out about it last year when, like, in Bankless, there's a project called Crypto Sapiens. So the host, Humpty, had a little noun on. So he told me about it. So ever since he told me, I was like fascinated, and I would always go back to this project just to look at what's happening. And then I would also like try to mint one. I've placed a bid a few times, only to realize that it was impossible to get below 0.15. I was like, how is this somebody always like getting above me? Later I found that there are bots probably who are like outbidding me every time. So I have wanted to get one. I think last month when I checked it out, when I opened Lil Noun, I saw this one, the Void, and I was like, man, this looks so cool, and I got it. I minted it for 0.17. Very happy.
Very nice. Love the Void. Is that a Moonbeam accessory? you know what your accessory is?
I don't know that. How do I find out? Okay. It's on it's on OpenSea, right?
It's not going to be on OpenSea. Sorry, what number did you say it was?
7415.
5.
Yeah, it's the moon accessory.
I love the moon accessory, and I love that green shirt too. I think the moon and the green shirt look so good together. Moon block. Yeah.
And every time I see, whenever I see somebody who doesn't have a PFP on Discord, I always send them the link to this playground and ask them, why do you not have a PFP, bro? Please do. please get a Lil Nan and add it as your PFP. So I've kept doing that. I've sent it to many people like that. Yeah.
Salman, you're gonna have to sit down in the makeup chair here as Index Card touches you up. We're gonna add you to our guest list and get a little work done on your Lil. Is that okay?
Yeah, totally. Right now? You mean right now?
Think so. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
We also need
Let's
SQ.
do it.
Do we have SQ on the big board?
We
SQ,
do.
what?
There he is.
Nice.
Oh, like the one in the guest list on the prop.
Oh, that's in another page, but Panda, you can show if you want, real quick.
I want to. We gotta watch you work here. I want to look at you in studio here, putting the finishing touches on Salman.
Probably don't have to, but I'm kind of just rebuilding it because I like to kind of just make it from scratch, even though I think we have it right there already from the file you pasted. But
Yeah, it gives us more control over the layers. Lets us do more things with it. Yeah, this is Index Card here, hard at work.
this one, the void is actually a little bit tricky because it's kind of like I guess you just go around the whole thing, right? But it's
I don't
pretty
know.
simple in some
We're gonna have
ways.
some.
I've done it with Noun 40 before. I tried both ways. I think just keeping it simple is probably the best option, maybe.
So yeah, one thing, Solomon, as you're getting your finishing touches here, I wanted to cover with you is voting and kind of the different ways that we vote in Little Nouns, because that's really darn confusing and complicated. And if you don't know what I find that it's kind of hard to get into it, but the three of us have been in for a while. And so yesterday, I started to make a little chart showing kind of the three different types of votes. So I wanted to kind of explain that to you once we get you finished up here. See if you had any questions, see if I can help you with anything, and just kind of if I could get a trial run to sort of explaining it. Is that something I can do?
Definitely. Yeah. So one thing I noticed on your prop, is that like at the very end, how you have links to every step of the process. A different stream explaining different step of the process of this prop. So that is cool. It's really, I find this project to be very interesting, how so much is documented. So at the end, that document, if you scroll down.
Yeah.
The watch is right, the proposal, watch is read. All of that.
Yeah, I feel you on the late nights because I had to wake up at 4:30 on 4:15 on a Sunday morning because we wanted to get this up so that the vote would end during prime time Thursday. So we're going to do a live show for that, 7 p.m. Eastern. It might be kind of off hours for you. but certainly we're trying to grab a big audience. So we'd love to have you show up to the finale, or excuse me, the mid-season cliffhanger. Yeah.
When is that again?
It's going to be the last couple hours of the vote. So it's going to be let's see, 24 plus about 32 hours from now. We should almost have a countdown timer. Yeah, here we go.
Happy to join. I'll just have to check if I have something else going on at that time. I mean,
I like that.
It's in the morning for me. Oh, wow.
Show me the yes vote and the no vote. Here, show us a yes. Yeah, there's a yes. Thanks. And then here's a no. No from Solomon.
What's the yes and the no?
Just kind of moving your guy around, playing
flip
around.
you upside down, kind of like you're shaking your head yes.
Okay. This is so cool.
Okay, so we got a special guest here, SQ, who is sort of the prop house maestro. SQ, maybe you can help us with these kind of 3 types of voting in little nouns. Are there 4 or are there 3? Am I missing any? I have number 1 is sort of on-chain props. So that's like our prop 116, let's play little nouns. Number 2 is prop house voting. Number 3 is snapshot. You know what? I guess there is sort of Discord votes, kind of temp checks in Discord. Should I add that?
Yeah, I think definitely add it.
So I just tried to make kind of a big matrix here. SQ, how important are prop house votes, or how would you categorize the importance of a prop house vote?
Probably prop lot too, technically.
Oh, you're right. You're right. No, you're absolutely right.
So prop house, what do you mean by how important?
Well, like I want to kind of give a range here. So like on-chain proposals, they can be very important. Like there could be a proposal to drain the whole treasury. But they can also be kind of not important, like, a very small ask or little proposal. So for on-chains, but what I want to distinguish is these can be very important. Whereas prop house, it's usually the cap. The ETH is usually capped at something like 2 ETH.
It's for me, I've always, and it's not, I see it, this gets taken the wrong way or has been taken the wrong way in the past, I think. I have always alluded to it being like a carnival. Like you never know what you're going to get. It's more about the good time. Like to the capped ETH, like if we get rugged for 2 ETH, or the treasury gets rugged for 2 ETH or 0.5 ETH, or even though a whole round that are only at 2.5 ETH now, like it's not the end of the day. And chances of the rug, so it's almost like when I look at prop house, if 20% of them end up being successes that where the others aren't necessarily failures but just aren't successes, I think that's fantastic. I think those numbers are fantastic. It's more, I see it more as engagement, seeing where people's heads are at. I've learned a lot through prop house about the people, the backgrounds of the people, what they're interested in, why they're doing what they're doing. It's more of a fun gateway that seems very consolidated, but you can sneak through. You can get into the prop house. You can end up, especially if you get out there and take advantage of some of these streams that are there. The Nouns Square. There's so many different media opportunities under the hood. I'm a big prop house fan, I guess is what it comes down to. But yeah, it aligns with the LOLs and life gains that I focus on in Web3.
May I ask a question? If we can get to that later, if you want. So I wanted to find out if it's possible to set up a prop house of our own. I know that there are other projects as well who have prop houses. Like I have something called Who Needs a Job that I think I could use prop house to develop that project. I have some ideas for that, and I was wondering, like, what would it? Is it is it possible to get on Prop House, or is it like restricted to some?
No, I mean Index would be a perfect example. I'll let him take this because he has actually run a personal round. I know the Prop House team is all about expanding and experimenting, so they're down. But I'll let Index take it. I got to run here for a second, but he's uniquely capable if he's available to answer this.
Yeah, that's a good and perfect question. I do have my own prop house round. There's a couple other individuals who have their own prop house round. I was pretty fortunate in that Seneca, one of the founders and lead guys behind Prop House, kind of gave me a little bit of ETH and let me get started with my round. So that kind of helped. But yeah, the Prop House team is always looking for interesting and new houses, they call them. And so it's definitely possible to run your own if you have a good idea and the Prop House team is into it. And yeah, you just got to reach out, maybe drop in their Discord, hit up Seneca, tell them your idea, what you're looking to do. And then you don't even really need ETH either. You can just kind of distribute tokens, or I'm not sure exactly what your idea is and what you'd be distributing as a prize, but they're open to trying new things and onboarding new users, because eventually I think the platform is just going to be pretty open for anybody to build on and use.
Interesting. So my idea is like for the Nouns Square Hack Week, what I had done is I had created like a contest of my own on Who Needs a Job using Twitter. So for people to create like short clips out of the live stream and to share it for points, for a chance to win 0.05 ETH, 5 winners. So I saw that there was good participation. So I was wondering if I could, develop this project more through, contests and tasks like this on Prop House, and give more work to develop and find a way to actually turn this project into a like Who Needs a Job, which I have a vision for, which I can share another time.
Yeah, I think definitely just drop into that Prop House Discord or DM Crypto Seneca. I think that would be the next step.
Awesome.
I would also definitely check out. Sorry. I would check out the UMA house because they do some really interesting things, and they reward users with an UMA token. And so they've kind of built a community all through Prop House by that way. And yeah, you might want to look for them for a little inspiration.
Awesome. Great, Alpha.
Okay, not sure SQ if SQ is still back, but let's keep kind of going down here. So Prop House votes do not cost gas, Solomon. These are not on-chain transactions, so they never cost gas. You had said that you had previous experience in voting with Lil Nouns and it didn't cost gas. Was that in Prop House or was that in Snapshot? Or do you remember how you voted previously?
Yeah, it was in Prop House, is what I remember. Yeah.
Yep. So you can also delegate your vote. And you delegate your vote from lilnouns.wtf/vote. And then if you're eligible to vote, so this is another thing that people get tripped up on. Basically, every single vote in Little Nouns is going to have a different group of eligible voters. And you got to check each snapshot for when the snapshot was taken to see if you're eligible. So, for example, anyone who bought or acquired a Little Noun after we put our proposal 116 up, they're not going to be eligible to vote, because what happens is there's a snapshot taken right when we put the vote up, and only owners of Little Nouns at that snapshot are eligible to vote. So I don't think that applies to you because you've had yours for over a week, you said. So you should be eligible to vote.
Yeah. So that happened to me with Headline. So Headline had a prop for crypto journalism. And I found out about it like 3 days before it closed. So, and I bought a couple of NFTs when the vote opened, those NFTs didn't come to help. Yeah.
Oof, that's rough.
But by the way, I've seen your conversation with CC from Purple, Kerala, about creating a voter persona. So that was interesting. So yeah, I'll check out regarding delegating the vote as well.
Yeah, awesome. And do you have any questions about our prop, our 116? Let's Play Lil Nouns. You mentioned you really like it. You've watched it. Do you have any tough questions for us? Anything we can answer? Anything that makes you skeptical about it or concerned? Or we're really open.
It's not about the project. I was wondering, why is there like a lot of no's? Why the resistance to support is what I wanted to ask. So I also wanted to check in on Discord or something about like what do people feel? Why are they like not in? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's a great question that a lot of voters have. So yeah, we have, they're basically two main big no voters. So this address here, the 5A3E and the A7DA, we believe those are the same voter with two different wallets. And then Motion Design, I talked to Motion about it, and he's just a no. I think he wants to just buy nouns. And then this voter here, he just says he doesn't see the ROI. He's very interested in just acquiring nouns, I think. But he just doesn't think that our prop will generate kind of a return, which is a fair point, fair thing to say. Certainly he's entitled to it. He's bought a lot of little nouns, contributed a lot to the treasury. But yeah, we have these are two voters that make up, 600 and let's see, 424 plus 221 plus 52. So that's 697 votes are really just from these two addresses. And then MFers here, 19 no votes. Talked to him a lot. He's super helpful. Shout out to MFers, even though he voted no here. He gave me a lot of feedback. He said he wanted to basically see metrics, like our Twitter impressions and YouTube, and he wanted us to have sort of a goal there, very similar to kind of that big voter who wanted the ROI. And that's totally fair. He just basically saying, hey, it's great work. You guys are doing awesome stuff, but he doesn't think it's going to have an impact without kind of bigger metrics. So those are the two reasons I've heard. I don't know who these voters are, Gwen and the Shark. And I haven't contacted them. I should. But that's my understanding, basically. I think Motion just wants to buy nouns.
C7E9, I think, is also Will. I think that was his original wallet.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, like I agree with the statement. I think you guys are still in the oven, and but I think you guys are baking a good pie is kind of, like I don't know where you're going. I don't know if there's going to be any ROI at the end of this, but I think good things are happening, and I would just like to see it. At least, you're going through one season, and then we can reevaluate. And if we need to kill it at the end of that, I'm just talking for me personally. I intend to, if you guys come back and, look at it a little bit sharper. But as of now, it's very much, and a lot of this goes back to like, Will's a dev person, right? So it's like, this is very much the dev versus non-dev battle that we constantly have, which Salman, you are a part of, whether you like it or not. And I think the potential value that you guys can provide at this price is, you guys are basically, I think it's a no-brainer to continue it at least to the end of the season.
Actually, I as someone who is part of DAOs and other ecosystems, I find challenges in this whole vote-based lifestyle. I'm not a fan, but somehow I've ended up at the very center of it. But I find it a little unfair that two people are dictating what happens with the proposal. I know this is how it works, but yeah.
I don't actually. I mean, I know a lot of people say that, and I understand why you think that, but I think it's fair for people to vote against. I think they're large token holders. They have a say. I'm really happy with our 14 yes addresses. And I think we want to collect up more. We want to get this number high. We want 20, we want 30, we want 40 yeses. Our goal is to really get our content out there, be welcoming, make friends, teach people, have fun. And, it's the thing with the large voters is they really make you better if you keep at it. Because the thing about these large voters is they both engage with me. Actually, all three of the big large voters, they all engage with me. They all gave me feedback. They all gave me a chance. And they just have a different view. And so I think that's totally fine. I think we're stronger as a DAO when we have strong no voters. And the reality also is that, we need to get to 699 quorum anyway. So even if we had 698 yes votes and 0 no votes, this thing doesn't pass. It only passes if we get up to, do we need 700 or do we need 699? That's a good question we got to look into. But really, by all these no voters, they don't really have much impact unless we get down to it. And if we have 719 yes votes and we meet quorum but we lose, that would be rough. But so far, they really haven't changed the game at all. We still need to get above 699. We got to get an extra 21 votes, 22 votes now. And I think that's totally doable. I really do. Index, do you have any thoughts or SQ? I'd love to hear from either of you two on that point from Solomon.
For me, I kind of just distill it down to the very basic principles. 1 token equals 1 vote, and then you kind of work from there. So if you accumulate the tokens and you got the votes, use them as you see wish. That's kind of just the way Nounish DAOs work, and most DAOs work. And so, I don't really feel any particular way against people that voted no on our prop. And if they just happen to have 200, 300, maybe 500 tokens, then that's the way they're choosing to kind of play, and they've invested a lot of time, energy into acquiring those, and just kind of free to do what you want. So I just keep it very simple. 1 token is 1 vote, and that's kind of how it runs from there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that synopsis, and along the lines of playing the game, the rules are set. Anyway, we can complain about how the players are operating, but everybody's operating within the same confines of how it is. And as you said with Will, I mean, he's done a lot for Nouns and a lot for Little Nouns, and and he's always been very open, like you said, and he's also been very forward on exactly his position. His position is not like he flip flops and adjusts. He has voted. He's like, well, I think the community. He's thrown the community a bone a couple of times. It kind of felt like. But Will's been Will from the start to the finish. He was that bot that you were talking about that was supporting the market price for various reasons. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, just if you boil it back, and anybody can play the game, and I don't think fair is necessarily a word that is to be used, I guess. Because it's not it's neither fair nor not fair. It just is what in the simplicity of it, like you said, Index, it just is.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Compared to traditional systems, at least the rules and it's very clear, and you can dive into it and make sure that everything is going according to how it's supposed to be. Whereas in other systems or traditional world, you think there's rules and you're not too sure if it's actually going that way or people are playing within them. But here, yeah, you can kind of transparently see it thanks to the blockchain. And I think that's really something to appreciate.
It makes sense. Thank you for actually introducing that perspective. There's another question I had, if I may.
Yeah, go for it.
So, like, I was wondering where are these discussions happening regarding the props? Like, how are people like, coordinating on like what might be like the best value for the community through this prop and things like that. When I look at the on prop calls, it doesn't happen. Usually, I think communities have like a discourse forum to discuss that. So I was just wondering where does this communication about the prop happen?
That's a wonderful question, because that's what happens. Kind of that's part of why we're doing the show, is to kind of bring it out into the light. A lot of it happens, I think, in DMs on Discord, in private relationships. SQ, where do you think? What would you say this? Where would you say this stuff happens in Lil Nouns?
I don't even know. Just
communication about voting. Like, where do people decide and discuss value prop and decide where to vote?
I mean, there's different there's places in Discord. I would say Discord is probably the most ideal, but then again, a bunch of stuff will happen. I don't want to say behind closed doors, but I also think there's a lot of self-dealing, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't think it's necessarily negative in many ways, but it's kind of, you do see a similar, but a lot of it is it's the same people. So are they being rewarded for constantly being around and participating and contributing, as opposed to, say, Simon, you're a great example. Like your work's great, but you just showed up. Like, so maybe people don't vote for you just because they're like, oh, well, is he? Some people come in and they dip out. Some people come in and they stay, and so there's a lot of that I think is just automatically, at least for me, because I don't do a lot of discussions other than, say, for the Little Reps show, Prop Culture. It's gotten harder, I guess, to find the spots. That's why I think stuff like this stream, that are consistent, places that you can go to talk about these things. That's why I think they're so valuable too. So I don't think I answered your question, but everywhere, nowhere, Discord spaces.
Got it. That covers everything. When you said everywhere and nowhere and Discord. But thank you. That is useful. And to the first question, I take the lesson that I will not be using the word fair. I think that's something I've just learned.
Yeah, and we think of it really like a game. Like, it's a game where the rules are clear on the blockchain. And another thing that we really take from that we're really applying, I think, in our show, is this idea that Lil Nouns is an infinite game. And so we're working on this. This might be sort of part of our Nouns prop, but the idea is there's two kinds of games in life. There's finite games, where the goal is to win, and where there's winners and losers and rules, and they're performed for an audience. So the classic example here is a sports match, like if you think about a football game or a basketball game. Whereas Nouns, we think, is more of an infinite game, where the purpose is not to win or lose, but really to kind of keep playing. And the rules and the boundaries are sort of flexible. Players seek self-sufficiency, and the game involves participants. It's played in the present, it's dramatic. We really want to draw people in, talk to them, develop relationships, and play together. So that's kind of core to our way of gaming. Index, did I cover that well?
Yeah. So Panda kind of introduced the idea of an infinite game to me, and it kind of really sucked me in because it's like let's say you go on chain here, you get the 500 or whatever no votes. Maybe I guess we're at 700, but that's like not really the end of the game here. It's part of the bigger picture. There's more to it, and it's kind of like gives you a little bit extra motivation or inspiration to keep going. Whereas like in a finite game, um, you've lost, and then it's kind of like, all right, what's next? But here, you get feedback, you see who's not interested, maybe what they're looking for, and you can kind of work from that, and you can invite them to join you maybe and improve your prop or something like that, kind of like we're doing here. So yeah, the infinite game kind of framing has opened up quite a bit for me in Nouns.
Awesome.
Yeah. Any other questions, Solomon, about our prop? Certainly, we'd love to have your vote if you're willing, but we're also happy to chat more if you have any more questions. If you need any help. Yeah, we're in the stage now where we've got about 31 hours now, where we just gotta collect as many votes as possible, and even especially votes that for little nouns that only have one or two. We think that's really important because that's that's our audience, people who are maybe dipping their toes in the water, who want to learn more, and so we're worried that people are going to look at this prop scoreboard and see, oh my God, 720 against. My vote doesn't really matter. What good does one extra vote mean? But it actually means a lot because the metric here of how many addresses vote for a prop is super important, I think. Although SQ, would love to have you weigh in.
It probably affects what the nouners are thinking, the little nouners. Do you have a chart? Oh, you need to get Blom's chart. I mean, really, that's the key to the success. Is I mean, he got out and he got the littles to vote. And if you show that chart, it just shows how all of a sudden the tick, everybody getting those votes in and pushing him up for when he was doing the ETH Denver prop. And I think that just exemplifies what you're saying there about how every vote matters. And similar to the Novos here, Solomon, there's the Nounders have an equally impressive amount of yes votes that they don't just throw around, but if the community is kind of overwhelmingly for something, they tend to go with the community and their proliferation maxis. As dev work doesn't. I don't know. You could argue about the proliferation of dev work. It's obviously very important, especially in Web3, but it doesn't expand things very well, in my opinion, past what the small inner circle of already non-pilled developers, which is great. Nothing against any of it. I love this IRL stuff. And the Nounders do too, is I guess what it comes down to. So there is a white knight at the end of the tunnel. Should the battle be well fought, I guess.
Very well put. Yeah.
SQ, what? Oh, go ahead, Salman.
No, please continue. I'll come back to mine.
I was just going to see, SQ, if you have any ideas for voters out there that we could tap into, anyone who you think we might be able to get a yes from.
That's actually what I was going to ask. Like, what would your approach be in the next 36? I mean, the next set of hours to get the votes.
If you go to House of Little Nouns, they have a thing that will show who has not voted. On the right side, I believe there's a yet to vote button somewhere. Did I make this up? I swear to God, it was here. Are you logged in? You might have to be logged in. But yeah, I'm actually not very good at getting votes or passing props, for that matter.
It's not easy. Like, yeah, I'm having trouble with it too. I think at the end of the day, you just got to kind of reach out to people, and that's not easy, especially for me.
Yeah, I'm horrible at that.
Yeah. So this is tough. I can see a list of people that have votes, but then overcoming kind of like that barrier to get them to actually vote, it's tough. Probably the toughest part of the whole thing.
Yeah, no, and that was the thing. I mean, Blom's burned 3 Discord accounts to get the vote. I mean, people probably voted for him just so he would stop pinging them, right? But yeah, if you go there, see where it says voted. I believe there's like right underneath that, you can click and it'll say still to vote, I guess. In the top, your cursor, yeah, in that box, top box on the right. Down, the white box. Now scroll up in there.
Oh, I see it. The drop down. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Look at you. Hot tip.
Jesus Christ.
Who is C695?
That might be the is that the NFTX?
Oh.
The really tough thing right now is Etherscan is down, which is kind of a rough. Can't really dig in too deep. At least I normally use Etherscan, but it's not working right now.
Yeah, we got some news, I think, here. Let's see. No. New votes. I thought we got a new voter. Maybe not. Yes, we did. House of Nouns hasn't updated yet, but we did get a new vote. We got a new voter. We got Kimmy. Kimmy, a Prop House OG. Kimmy voted for us with 1 yes. Thank you, Kimmy.
Speaking of kind of the a perennial pusher in there, works with Seppi. Seppi also always trying to move forward, doing their little niche, which doesn't vibe fully overall with the community. The metaverse and stuff. Some people are like hell bent against it, but I think they do a very good job. Kimmy's got a prop up in the grant. And I just, she just keeps moving. I like it. Literally, she just keeps moving. She wants to put out a new video where did that song to Beyonce's "Where My Lady's At" or whatever, and wants to produce it. So glad that she's in there voting. Active governance, active participation, and Prop House active is key. And I like to vote and continue voting for people that are active.
Do you know Seppi SQ? Do you have a DM with him?
I have DM'd with him in the past. We don't talk much, I guess. I think there's a language barrier and stuff, but yeah, he did. It was one of those, like, you talk, I try to help him, and it doesn't go over very well. So it's like, then I feel like I'm not doing a good job. It's tough all around, right? Like, because he did the spookies for the World Cup. I don't think that got very much traction. But he's always there and trying. So I'm in his camp, but I'm not providing support that I think is effective, I guess. So I get a little, then I feel like I don't want to keep providing the support when they're like, well, you keep providing the support and it's going nowhere. So I get a little burnt out, or feel like I'm burning them out potentially.
Yeah. So all right. So we racked up one vote from Kimmy. Salman, any more questions for us, or you want to think about it a little more? You got 32 hours or so, 31 hours to vote, but we'd certainly love your support, but don't want to put a hard sell on. Yeah.
I actually want. I support this project. I think this project has a unique value proposition. It is it is educational, and it is going to be of value to the Little Nouns ecosystem. So I think I would definitely support it. I was going to vote earlier, but but you called me on the stream, so yeah. So I don't need more time. I'm ready to vote.
Do you want to show us your vote, like how you do it? Do you want help walking through it? I don't know if you're comfortable with that,
Sure.
but
Shall I share my screen?
if you can, yeah, just share the tab, and yeah, I just want to be able to show that to people, kind of how it works. Awesome. There you are. Okay. All right. So
Do you
you're
see it?
connected. Yep.
I think why is the zoom is a little off? Okay, it's all right. Okay, so
Yeah.
I have gone through the prop. I have watched this sizzle reel, and I have watched the show as well. I follow the show, so I feel like I've learned many new things through the show. So I feel good about voting for this. So I'm just gonna hit vote.
Love it. Love it. We are absolutely thrilled with your support. You want to give us a Noggles as a reason or some kind of reason? We love vote with reason.
I just dropped in my alt
Or
wall
even,
as well.
you know what, Solomon, even what you just said to us, you watch the show, you like it, you get stuff value out of it. I think that would be a sweet, yeah, the vote with reason is very important because people read those.
Yeah, I've listened to Chris talk about that on the show.
The reason's so important, not even more so with the negatives. Like I'm a constructive criticism type of guy, so it comes easy for me to like really love something. Like I can be 99% go on something and still just rip it apart in the best, like meaning best way for it. But yeah, I love reading what people say. It just gets a little insight into what they're thinking, and especially I do love that people communicate with you guys on the no side. But some of that is also what is so frustrating for some of the newcomers because they see the no's or they don't get the votes, and they're also not in the places where it's being discussed or getting the attention from the people who are voting no. And breaking that barrier and normalizing as Chris does very well reason in the voting I think is fantastic and super necessary especially as we grow.
Good with this reason. I'm gonna hit submit.
Yeah, awesome. So you're going to submit that. This is going to be a transaction. It does unfortunately cost a little bit of gas, but we really appreciate that. It's going to get us up to 16 yes votes, 16 unique yes votes. What's the gas going to cost you, Solomon?
It's loading. So, is it shit? Yeah, it's sharing that.
Ooh, that's expensive. I think it just cost me $6.
So I'm gonna confirm and make it official on the stream.
That's so meaningful, really, Solomon. So appreciate that. Index, you got any words?
I think this is our first live vote on the stream, and it's amazing. Much appreciated. Every vote counts, even if like we never get over the threshold. Every vote, every sponsor of this proposal here means a lot to us. A signal that we can keep kind of pushing our mission here to like teach, educate, and show. And most importantly, what we just did is bring others on and collaborate and work with them. So yeah, really appreciate the vote.
My honor. Thank you. I learned about editing as well today, which is great. Yeah, I hadn't done this before. I hadn't done an on-chain vote. I had actually watched this episode where you and Lil Panda and Index, I think, submitted this prop. There was like 10 minutes left, and both of you quickly submitted an on-chain prop. I had watched that the other day, but I did not realize that it was different from the usual prop that I had seen before.
Yeah, it's really honored, Salman. Really appreciate you. Really, thank you so much. Really, genuinely.
Likewise.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump, but good luck to both of you, or all three of you guys. Big fan of everything you guys do, and sometimes we get stuck in the minutia of the now versus the forest for the trees, and I think you guys are definitely focused on the forests. So just both sides, just keep it up, and Salman, I know it can get lonely, but like you said, when you're working alone, or you just have to open it up, and I think you're on a good path to that. So good luck to all you guys. I really appreciate you having me on here, and everything. I agree with everything that was said here. So good luck, congratulations, and I'll catch you guys on the turn.
Thanks so much, SQ.
Thank you.
Look at you. Here's your void right on our vote, Salman. Do you see this? You're now in the yes column.
I do see it.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Oh, my .non is visible. Cool.
Oh yeah, your NNS.
Yeah.
Needs a job. Noggles. All right. Well, it's been an awesome hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna go take a break. I gotta take my dog for a walk. But we'll be back, I'm sure, a lot during the next 31 hours. Index card. We got a lot of work to do, huh?
Yeah. Quite a few votes to get. A lot of people to reach out to, try a few things and see, if we can get it done. But yeah, Salman, thank you for hopping on. I think I'm open. Obviously, Panda, kind of a little bit of the captain here, but we're all working together. Would love to have you back on at some point, and maybe, we can work through some things live with you.
Absolutely, and I wish I could stream this on my channel too. Next time, definitely set up in a way that it streams to both the channels. Happy to join anytime. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and there is a way to do that, Salman. So we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out next time. So I'm going to take a little break. Index, you want to take a break, or you want to come back in a bit?
Yeah, maybe we'll come back, continue kind of working through this. Crunch time. So I'll see you in a little bit.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to play the sizzle reel, and then we'll close out the stream, and we'll be back this afternoon. Thanks, everyone.
Nouns.
Sizzle reel.
To have a show where people can kind of watch and understand what the whole process is, I think would be super valuable.
Nouns is designed for permissionless cryptivity. You should just start doing stuff.
Oh my God, the deadline is in 9 minutes.
Do these live interviews.
That's actually really a really good question.
There are really very few yellows that are usable.
Larry King.
Stream directly to Twitter.
It's very funny to me that Wolf Price was in the intro.
Easier to stumble upon.
Ethereum is a name that describes a particular network.
Playing Nouns like a game.
How well you know your onions.
Oh, I'm so bad at this.
A very fun, cool example of what's possible here.
Submitted.
Watching you work in Figma it is very enjoyable in itself.